Hey, what's up, my 93Q amigos? It's Gerardo, and I'm out here at Monster Jam with the hometown kid.
That's right.
Colt. He's from the Woodlands. How are you doing, my man?
I'm awesome, ready to go. NRG Stadium, hometown. Love it here, absolutely love it. Whole friends, family, everybody's coming this weekend. It's about to go down.
Oh yeah, you're kind of like, I guess, the Parker McCollum
that's
of Monster Jam. That's pretty cool because you get to play. It's like home field advantage.
That's right.
Do you feel like it is a home field advantage when you come out here?
Oh, no doubt about it. You know, it's so great to come out here. I'll do an interview before the show, get the fans hyped, let them know I'm from here, remind them. You know, it's great to see all the people, the second and third generations coming. You know, there's a lot of the generations that came whenever I was a kid that watched my dad out here when we were in the Astrodome. And to bring them in, see them grow, and then have kids, and their kids are having kids, and they're all showing up. So it's so great to have everybody see us, come out to the events, you know, and having them on my side is a big deal. You know, it's fan judged. So every fan that I can get to vote 10 for ThunderROARus out there in skills and freestyle is awesome. So hopefully that helps us out. I'm going for an event win this weekend. I cannot wait. You know, my crew chief, Shelby, she's got the truck dialed in 100% for this weekend. I mean, I think we have a long tour, but the next 3 events here at NRG are probably the most important to me besides World Finals. You know, I want to win here. I have one I got like 2 years ago, but I'm starving for one right now, and I need one.
It sounds like, you sound like you're amped up.
Dude, I am pumped. I am ready.
What is the most underrated thing about Monster Jam?
You know, it's actually the skills that actually goes into driving these trucks. You know, it's not just a pedal to the metal, you know, hope for the best. We actually drive these trucks and balance them on the tires. You know, there's a lot of balance that goes into it. We're locked into the truck 100%. You know, safety is our #1 aspect when it comes to Monster Jam.
Right.
And I'm locked in the truck. The seat's made for me. My helmet's locked in. I got a Hans around my neck that kind of holds me back into the seat. So really when I'm driving the truck, I can only move my eyes, my arms, and my legs. So a lot of goes into that, knowing where you're at. Seat of the pants is what we always talk about, knowing where the truck's at. I mean, it's 12 foot tall, it's 12,000 pounds, and it becomes one with me, you know, and you got to think about that. And I got to not only steer the front, but I got to steer the rear. So there's a lot going on all the time, balancing these things, knowing where the truck's at on it. Even though this floor is huge, there's a lot of obstacles out there. So figuring it out and knowing your peripherals and knowing where you're at in the truck, especially when we get in those wild, crazy moments, flipping upside down, getting crazy. It's not just, you know, doing a backflip. I actually control the truck. You know, I have to hit the brakes at the right time. I have to give it gas. You know, I have to know exactly what it is.
So
there's
very
a lot.
calculated.
Exactly. So a lot of people don't realize how much actually, it's not just a rubber tire bulldozer.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know,
exactly. Man, he's just putting the, you know, put his pedal to the gas and that's it.
Yeah,
you know, like it is what. But also like what's crazy, like also same here because you know the rodeo always here, and so it's funny how like hearing bull riders like, hey, how do you train for this? Same thing for this. How do you simulate this as much as you can without getting into a truck?
So the best thing to do is, I mean, there's 2 really versions that we kind of talk about as drivers, and one is a simulator. We straight up have a simulator. It's kind of like a computer game. Rigs and Rods, I believe is what it's called, but it's pretty close. You can kind of try some moves, see if it works. And you know, you don't get the, I always say, if you want to get the perfect aspect, play Rigs and Rods and then take a hammer and hit you on the head with the, you know, with a helmet on. But, you know, that's pretty close. The other thing that we'll use is RC cars. You know, RC cars are really cool because you can sit there, you can kind of try a move. They work very similar power-wise, and you can try something and see if it works and get an idea from that, you know, and without the damage and without tearing it up, you know. So that's kind of the way we do it. But a lot of times it just comes down to, you know, giving it a shot and see if it works out. A lot of the moves that we've come up with now have almost been an accident when it happens, and you like, somebody sees it, it's like, wow.
A happy accident.
Yeah, this almost could work. Let's push it a little bit further and see what happens. So a lot of that can happen, and you never know when those moments are going to come.
Right.
Could be here this weekend. You know, it could be out on the track and something happens.
You may never see the same thing again.
Exactly. Yeah, it's magic, and you're like, oh my gosh, and then we'll build on that, and something crazy will happen.
So it is very much calculated when you're out here. But have you ever improvised?
Oh, like all the time. All the time. I mean, it's you know, we sometimes talk about elephants on ice skates. You know, you're out here and the truck lands and you're thinking you're going to go to the right, but it bounces left. You know, and then I got to roll with the punches. I got to go where the truck wants to go sometimes. I can ask the truck sometimes to do what I want to, but a lot of times it tells me what it wants, and so I gotta build off of that. Okay, well, we're going left. So what's the obstacle that I can hit over here and still fill my two minutes in freestyle, not get too crazy? So I have to have a plan and a backup plan to know what the next move is sometimes.
So when you're not driving a truck, what do you drive?
You know, this is my life, man. So I'm a second generation. This is where I grew up. But when I'm not actually inside of a truck, I'm building stuff. So I do lift kits, tires, wheels, bumpers. We actually have a company here in Texas, in the Woodlands, called Texas Truck Works. So we do a lot of lift kits, and I build trucks, Jeeps, off-road vehicles. So Even I'm not off-roading this thing.
So you're about this life.
That's all I'm about, man.
That's pretty
Driveway.
sweet because, like, you know, same here, like being a local kid, grew up country, end up on a country radio station. Nothing's better than do a profession that feels like literally fits like a pair of good boots.
No doubt about it. Absolutely, like some Tacovas or something.
Exactly.
But,
exactly.
Yeah. So it's really great because I can take an aspect of it and communicate with my crew chief. You know, and I think that's a big part of being a driver is being able to communicate what the truck's doing. You know, I feel a vibration here, check the driveline. I feel like the left front axle's not pulling. You know, something like that, and I can communicate those things to.
And the crew chief would have like all this.
Yeah, instead of just coming, hey, the truck don't work. You know, that doesn't, you know, it doesn't help anybody out. So being able to go and say, hey, this is the problem, this is the issue. Let's take a look at here and stuff like that, I think definitely helps us in keeping us going and making every single event.
And what do you think is the biggest difference from when your dad and grandpa did this compared to you?
Oh my gosh, dude, just the technology. You know, we're talking leaf springs and 15 shocks around the truck and they go and crush a car and that was pretty cool. Now we're flying 30, 40, 50 feet in the air. I got 26 inches of travel in front, 30 inches of travel in the rear, 1,500 horsepower. You know, the sky's the limit. We have special built BKT tires for it that are made for it now. Used to you ran like a Firestone or something that weighed astronomical amount. So, you know, these trucks are built for this now. You know, it used to is just a regular old truck that got taller and taller and taller and bigger.
It's like somebody
heavy.
just really wanted to see how big can I make this?
Yep, exactly.
And then let me see what I could do with this.
Yep.
All right, now it's actually like science behind it. Now it's like people actually dedicating their time and money to.
We are like NASCAR or whatever. We are constantly, you know, pushing the game to the next level. You know, what's the next thing that we're gonna do that'll push us and be able to make those next moves, and make those next wow factors, to go bigger, to go faster, you know, all those things. So we're constantly pushing the envelope, and these trucks are changing. I mean, we're revolutionizing the truck every single weekend. We make small, minute changes to the truck, whether it be me, Gravedigger, or whoever it might be on tour. We're trying something. You know, we're playing with the shocks a little bit. Hey, maybe this will make it rebound different. Hey, this will do this. So we're constantly pushing,
adapting to the situation.
To get that edge. I mean, it's a competition.
Yep.
So we are always, one driver is trying to get that upper edge or that leg up over the other driver.
And speaking of competition, do you have an arch nemesis?
Man, everybody on this tour, really. We talk about it all the time. This tour right here that's coming to NRG for the next 3 weekends is stacked from top to bottom. You know, you don't know what's going to happen from anybody. You know, you got Jim Colt, the old man on tour. But I'm going to tell you what, he is absolutely burning it down every single weekend in an Avenger truck. His son, Chris, just debuted a new truck this year, and he's going crazy. You got, of course, Gravedigger, Tyler Meninga. Love the guy. Hate him at the same time. You know, Cynthia and Stabilizer, you know, you never know what she's going to come up with. She's wild and crazy. Bari and Zombie. I mean, the list just goes on and on of drivers that are just top notch, that are just super hard to beat. You know, we'll sit in, it's funny, we'll be sitting right here, you know, with the trucks all lined up right before we're going. We're watching the show with the fans, and we'll look at each other as drivers going, God dang, what are we going to do after that? What are we going to do after that? And it's just elevating constantly. And with this tour
like
right
gymnastics
here,
for trucks.
It's wild.
It's just like, dang, they pulled that. I didn't see that coming.
No. And they're going huge. It's like, man, I'm going to have to hit that harder. You know, is the truck going to take it? Am I going to take it? So it's really cool.
What's it, high tide raises all ships? I guess.
That's right.
Piles of dirt.
Iron sharpens iron, and that's 100% here.
Piles of dirt raises all monster trucks?
Yep.
I guess that would be y'all say. So what is your favorite? You love Tex-Mex. I saw that.
Yep.
You're in damn near the Tex-Mex capital of the world.
Yes,
is
sir.
Your go-to spot in Houston.
Man, we just talked about it, Papacitos, man. We're as soon as we the other drivers get here tomorrow after practice, it's the first spot we're hitting. You know,
is that the first thing you tell them? It's like, look, this is my hometown.
Yeah, well, they tell me, man. They show up and they're like, hey, Papacitos right down the street. We're going right, and I'm like, yeah, let's go. So, no, I mean, we got all the local spots, but I mean, Papacitos is right there, so that's one of the places that we really like to go. But yeah, I mean, everywhere you go around here is great food. You know, that's
one of the craziest things I read about Houston was like there's not a go-to spot in Houston. You just have to find your spot.
That's exactly right, because everybody's a little bit different. You know,
exactly.
I'm a big queso fan, man. So
I saw that you love cheese.
Dude, cheese is my jam. So like anywhere that's got good queso, and I can tell you if I'm gonna like the restaurant or not, buy the queso. Chips and queso, first thing on the table, and I'm like, well, maybe we're just gonna have some enchiladas and not fajitas here, you know. So we'll figure it out. But
that's like me with like low key when it comes to Tex-Mex, like their tres leches.
Yeah.
If your tres leches doesn't hit, like I'm good. I don't want the rest of it.
We might not come back here.
Exactly. Because if that's what you're ending the night with is that kind of tres leche,
Yep.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Well, this is my man Colt. He is the Parker McCullum on
Yeah,
Boston
there we
Jam.
go,
He
dude.
is going to
I'll
be
take it.
here, and he is going to dominate. We're hoping for a big win out of this man. Check out here.
Going for
February 1st, 2nd, and 8th, they're going to be out here.
Don't miss it, man. It's going to be wild. Come on.